Welcome to JazzTime. JazzTime.com is an online store that buys, sells, trades authentic luxury watches. We make these videos so our customers can easily choose the best watch for themselves in the comfort of their own home. If you would like to know the price, simply click on the link in the description below. If you enjoy our videos, we'd greatly appreciate it if you would buy a watch at JazzTime.com. Today, I'm going to be reviewing the Rolex Yachtmaster 2 White Gold reference 116689, 44mm in white gold. I'm going to talk to you guys about the case, the bezel, the dial, the bracelet, the movement, try it on, and give you my thoughts. So let's dive right in. Now, this is the Rolex Yachtmaster 2, as I said at the very beginning, with the reference number 116689, and it's gone through a couple different iterations. Now, this is an older version. This watch is from I believe it's from a V serial, so it's roughly from 2007, 2008, so it's more than 10 years old, and there are some very slight differences than what is the current model, even though the reference number hasn't changed. Namely, the dial just looks a little bit different. Instead of having a square at the top, the new dial has a triangle. Not a huge difference, and then the biggest difference is probably these hands. Instead of having these white gold hands, they actually look black, but they're not black. It's a reflection. When you turn it in this light, it's actually white gold. So when you look at it, it's sword hands. It looks like a sword, like a samurai sword or something. But the new hands are Mercedes-Benz hands, as in they look like a triangle with a circle with a triangle in it. I'm not sure how much of a difference that makes to you, but that is a difference. So the dial just looks slightly different, but and also the movement is just a little bit different, but you can't see it anyways. I'll get to that in a moment. But basically the watch is the same thing as it has been since it was released almost 15 years ago in like the mid 2000s. Okay, so let's talk about the case. Now this is the this is one of the largest watches that Rolex makes in the sports professional line, namely 44mm. From my thumb to my index finger, the only one that's close to this is the Deep Sea, and the Deep Sea is massive, but this one is also massive, and it's actually the only watch that is made in precious metals that is also the largest watch that you can buy in precious metals. 44mm. The Deep Sea is 44, the Sea Dollar is 43, and the Yachtmaster 2 is 44mm. Okay, so that's from my thumb to my index finger. A very, very large watch. So you got to be a big guy to wear this, or you got to like big watches. Okay. Now the case, as I said at the very beginning, it's actually an Oyster case. It's based on the Oyster case. Now it's quite thick, going from this direction to this. How thick exactly, I'm not sure. It was definitely thicker than the Datejust, probably closer to the Sky Dweller, maybe even larger than that. And that's because the movement is a much more complicated movement, but it still uses the Oyster case, and the case itself is made in white gold. Okay, now which part of this is platinum, because they say it's actually platinum. Now I'm going to get to that right now. So that would be this actual bezel right here. Which actual part would be, you see how it's kind of sandblasted right there, and then the numbers are raised? That part, the insert itself, is made of platinum. The housing of that bezel right here, where you sort of have these rivets where you can grab the bezel and turn it, that part is made in white gold. Okay, so this watch has two materials: platinum on the insert of the bezel and white gold. Now you'll probably notice, since we're talking about the bezel now, is that it's sandblasted. The base of the watch is sandblasted, but the words are raised and they're high polished. And they're not sandblasted, they're high polished. So that gives it a very beautiful contrast. It makes the watch look much more 3D. So I really love the look of that. It's very, very beautiful. And Yachtmaster is known for having this platinum bezel. Now the only kind of downside to that is that it does scratch, and this is a used watch, so you can see that there's some scratches over time. But you know, really not that bad, considering that this watch is like almost 15 years old and it has this hardly any scratches. I mean, it's scratches on the bezel, of course, you know, as you would expect from any item that's lasting 15 years, but you could easily send it to Rolex and they could have this watch looking like brand new with a simple polish. And I think, you know, for the trade-off of how beautiful it is with a platinum bezel and the scratchability of it, I think it's worth it. You know, ceramic, the bezels, they don't scratch, but they are just ceramic, which is not a precious metal. Okay, now let's move on. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you. So this bezel, I can't go into how to use this in this video because that's not what the purpose of this is, of this video. We have other videos on that showing you how to use this Yachtmaster ring, but the Rolex, it's a Rolex ring command. It's bidirectional, 90 degrees. It rotates and it interacts with the movement. Okay, so you can move it as I just showed you right there. And by the way, this watch is for counting down 10 minutes. So let the start, stop on the top, and reset on the bottom. I'll go ahead and make it start. Actually, restart right there. Okay, so let's move on. And I guess I should say about the dial, since we're talking about that now. As I told you at the very beginning, the dial has been updated in 2020 to have slightly different. Instead of, you see it has a square right there? The new dial has a triangle. Woo! Big deal, right? You would think whoop-de-doo. Well, I guess it kind of makes a difference. And the hands, instead of being the sword hands, they are Mercedes hands. That's pretty much it. There's not any other real discernible difference, at least that I can see. You know, maybe you guys can see it, but I just see the hands and that little thing right there. And so that's the only difference I see. Now this is start, and let's stop it, and it goes back to start. And it just counts down from 0 to 10. I guess, or maybe the other direction. I'm not really sure. Okay, anyways, you gotta watch my other video to figure out how to do that. All right. So I talked to you guys about the bezel, the dial. Oh, I guess I should say they make this in white gold, yellow gold, rose gold and steel. So 4 variations of it. And I heard somebody said they might discontinue this white gold. I don't know, because the stainless steel does look very similar to this, although not that similar. It has a white and blue bezel instead of just a platinum bezel. Okay, now let's move on to the bracelet here. The bracelet is an oyster bracelet. Pretty much the same as all their other oyster bracelets. Not really anything different. It's an oyster flap 3-piece link, and it's 18 karat white gold. And of course it has its folding oyster safety lock with the 5mm comfort extension. That's good in case you want to extend the watch so that it's hot or cold in air condition. You just do so like that. Okay, not a big deal. Okay, now let's move on to the movement here. Now you can't see the movement, and I'm not going to take it apart for you, but this watch is a caliber 4160. After, I think, around 2013, they changed it to the 4161. I guess they just made some minor changes to the movement. It doesn't really matter, so I don't really want to talk about it too much other than the movement's been updated. This one has the older movement, 4160. Okay, now I guess it brings me to the end of this video, and I want to give you my thoughts. So my thoughts are this. This watch on the secondary market, at least for the used version, is hovering right around mid to high, around, I'd probably say around mid 20s. You know, 26 and up, 26 to 30, depending on, you know, condition, age, blah blah blah. And you know, it's a white gold watch. It's a very beautiful watch, and it's massive. Yeah, I wouldn't say massive. I mean, it's on my wrist. I have a roughly 7.5 inch wrist, and it doesn't really look massive on my wrist. You know, it actually looks great, and you know, for the price point, you know, the watch retails for $48,000. So if you buy a used one of these, I mean, you're getting it for like half of that. You know, the depreciation's already set in. Yeah, there's some little bit minor, you know, things like the hands and that little triangle, you know, and maybe a little bit of scratches, you know, but, you know, that's to be expected if you're paying $24,000 or, you know, 25, 20, or whatever, high 20s, let's say 27,000, versus the retail price of $48,000. You know, of course we sell them both new and used, so if you want to buy this used one, simply click on the link in the description below, or if you want the new one, we also have that. But just my basic thoughts are, you know, some people might say, well, why would you get, you know, white gold versus stainless steel? Well, you know, if they found out that Rolex was made by little Martians, you know, that these stainless steel watches would be useless, but these gold watches would still have inherent value. Granted, those little Martians wanted to harvest our gold. So, you know, I mean, it's a precious metal watch, you know, and someone's told me like, well, it looks just like the stainless steel. I'm like, no, it doesn't. The stainless steel has blue. This one doesn't. Does an AMG look like a regular car? It says AMG on it. Well, anyways, you get my point. So, those are my thoughts. I really do like this watch. I'm not just saying that for this video. I mean, it looks pretty badass on my wrist, doesn't it? So if you like to buy it, please go to jazztime.com, JAZTIME.com.
If you want to find out more about the watch you just saw in the video, you can just click below on Show More to see the full description. Then you can check the link next to model as seen in video, click on it, and you will get to the proper page where you can see all the details. If you're watching on a mobile phone, you have to click on the arrow down on the right hand side below the video to see the full description. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up. If you would like to share this video with your friends, you can use the share button below and share it on any platform you like. If you have questions, constructive feedback, want to tell us about some mistakes or misspeaks, just write a comment below. If you want to see more videos like this, you should subscribe to our channel and visit our channel page where you can find all the videos. And if you're interested in a specific watch brand, you can check out our playlists. If you want to check the price for a watch or want to buy one, remember at jazztime.com you always get a steep discount, so you should check the prices with us. If you want to know the price for a specific watch, just go to Google, type in JazzTime, plus the brand, model and the details you're interested in, and Google will find the right page for you. Thank you for watching.